Hey folks, it's Alan Galang. We're back again with my good friend Dianne from Portland, Oregon. And what we're going to be talking about today is the importance of raising your standards. Raising your standards. Now I know it sounds really simple. It might even sound too simplistic. But here's the importance of raising your standards. And of course we're going to let Dianne elaborate on it. But what we've noticed over time is that all the top achievers, all the people that have ever gotten what they want in their life, all the people that have ever made it to the next level per se, they've never played at the standard of, well, I'll just get by. Well, I'll just, make it happen. Oh, well, I'll do my best. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then too bad. People that raise their standards are always the people that always push themselves beyond their own limits. And Dianne's going to talk about not only the importance of that today, but also what you can do to start activating that side of your characteristics in your life, in your workload, in your day-to-day events, so you can start elevating the kind of results that you're getting. Instead of waiting years to get the kind of results that you want, you can start doing it in months or sometimes even weeks. So Dianne, thank you again for your time. Always glad to have you on these calls.
Well, great to be here.
Absolutely. So let's start off. We've dipped into a little bit of the idea of raising your standards. Now, instead of me talking about it, let's get you to talk about it. What does raising your standards really mean to you?
Raising your standards to me, I had to change my mindset and change my physiology. I had to demand more of myself than what people demanded of me. That was one of the beginning things I realized to raise my standards.
So what exactly do you mean by that?
When you look at an athlete, we can go on skills. They have plenty of skills. The really great athletes have plenty of skill. But you can't survive on skill alone, or you can't become one of the greatest through just skills. You have to program yourself to say, hey, I have got to practice harder and harder, work harder and harder. Sure, I know how to figure out the internet or a computer, anything on this computer, right and left. But if you don't figure out how to really get the people, the prospects, all of those 150 people on the internet in the United States and Canada every week, then you will not be raising your standards to make yourself better.
Gotcha. So, is it safe to assume that all the greats like Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, are they the kind of people that always raise their standards? And if they are, do you think they're the kind of people we should follow?
Yes, they are the kind of people that have raised their standards, and somebody that we should follow. We should stop and look and listen to what they have to say or what they have gone through. You start at the bottom. Many of them were down at the bottom, living on the street. But they said, I have to start demanding more of myself than what people demand of me. I have got to start, what you ask for, you will receive. Everything you ask for, you will receive. Don't demand it or don't whine for it, but ask. When they became great, they raised their standards. And this is somebody that you should follow because they are a great example.
Gotcha. So if somebody wants to learn the skill of raising their standards, what do you think is the first few steps they should take to start getting into the habit of raising their standards on a regular basis?
Start getting more education. Well, like Michael Jordan, for an instance, he had great skill, but he thought that's all he needed. But his coach showed him that you can't live on skill alone. You have to work and work and work every day. He had, for a whole year, he came in every morning early and played with his coach, played basketball and practiced every morning with his coach to raise his standards. It doesn't just walk in and say, here I am. You have to work for it.